Gentlemen, excellent to be back with you on MGTOW Money. Today's topic, how young men ruin their futures. Before we get to that, thanks to the ongoing support from the Patreon investors in this channel. Welcome Aaron, welcome Bobby, Jimmy, the newest Patreon supporters of this channel. Men, welcome to the MGTOW Money Army. In addition, I want to sincerely thank those men who bought me a cup of coffee via PayPal, via the last video. Men, see the video description today of today's video. Become a supporter of this channel. Today's topic comes from J.J. Luna's book, How to Be Invisible. And by the way, see the video description today to that excellent book. Men, one of the ideas that I've stressed to you is that many young men are going to ultimately ruin their futures. Specifically, I'm going to give you an idea right now to save yourself, young men. Listen very carefully. I'm defining young men in particular as men under 35. Delete your Facebook, delete your Twitter accounts, delete your Instagram accounts, delete all your social media accounts. All of them, period. End of story. Why do I say this? Look, anything that you have your name publicly associated with, and I'm defining publicly as anything that's on the internet that has your name attached to it and or your photo attached to it where you're easily identifiable, you are a public figure. Even if it may only be a few people that might know you today, here's the point, men. You, of course, don't know your future. Hopefully, you have an ambitious idea that you want to have a better future than you might have today. So, for example, maybe you want to have more money than you have today. Or maybe you want to rise to some high-level position today. Look at the numerous examples. Most recently, Brett Kavanaugh, for example, a man who, of course, did eventually get appointed to the Supreme Court. But, of course, the hell that he had to go through, and in terms of the deep, in-depth background check they did on him. My point being, men, you can be virtually guaranteed, in particular, as you rise through life, and hopefully you will, which presumably you're going to do the action steps that I've done over the 160 videos here, you're going to inevitably generate people who are resentful, who are envious, who frankly are enemies. They won't like you. Men, here's a rule of thumb. 1/3 of the world will love you no matter what. 1/3 will be indifferent to you. They won't care about you. But 1/3 will hate you no matter what. So the point being is that there are a tremendous amount of benefits to being just that guy who nobody really knows. They occasionally see him, but they just walk by him and they don't think twice about him. You want to be that guy. Furthermore, in particular, if you're looking to move up at your job or you have ideas that, hey, I want to start getting a good job, making serious money, etc., just be aware that a lot of corporations, especially larger corporations, I virtually guarantee you, will do some sort of social media, Google search, etc. They are going to be looking for reasons not to hire you. In particular, if you were a man in today's world, the HR departments are riddled with women who are looking not to hire you. So, bottom line is, men, would you post anything, or I should say, don't post anything that you wouldn't show to your mother or that you wouldn't show to your grandmother? Because once it gets on the internet, it never dies. And it's especially true with today's advanced computer forensics, etc. The point being, at least stop now. However, I know there's a vast majority of you who are going to ignore this. Here's a few ideas, though, if you still want to continue to engage in social media, which is fine. Yes, I engage in social media. Here's some things to do to avoid or at least minimize the possibilities of running into an issue. 1, create a pen name. In other words, Mark Twain, that was not his real name, the famous American author. His real name was Samuel Clemens. The point being is that you can have a fake name. It's okay. There's no law against it. And in particular, it's very common for people that are in the public space. And again, I'm just saying anybody who's posting on social media to use a fake name. Take on an author's name, take on a character's name, take on any name you want. The point is, there's no reason to necessarily post things in your personal name. Furthermore, do not post anything visually or really seriously offensive. Obvious things. You know what I'm talking about. Things that are nudity, in particular unsolicited nudity, any type of threat, any type of really strong vulgarity should never be used. This has nothing to do with me being a prude or anything like that, or being conservative or old-fashioned. The point being is that you are doing this to protect yourself. That's what this comes down to, men. You want to protect yourself. Nearly any time you post something like that or send something like that, in particular unsolicited, it will almost invariably generate negative feedback for you. It will almost surely, it is going to have some sort of negative repercussion. Maybe not immediately, but at some point in the future, it'll come back and bite you. Thirdly and lastly, never brag. Never get into major intimate details about how great things are and how fantastic things are, and hey, look at me and how great I am, etc. It's too easy to generate envy and resentment and hatred among other people. I guarantee you that's almost surely what you are going to do. Furthermore, a lot of those details, men, guess what? They're going to be used against you. The guy who's flashing the money and the expensive car and the expensive house, do you know what he's looking for? He's looking for an audit. He's looking for the tax authorities in his area to come after him, to say, hey, are you actually reporting all this? Is all the money showing up on this? I'm just using that as an example. The point is that you are going to be guilty until proven innocent based upon just those things you have, voluntarily put up. Let me quickly conclude here, men. Most of the time, fame is not worth the price you pay. Again, you want to be the gray man. You want to be the guy who just kind of blends in with everybody else in the background that nobody really picks out. You want to be the man who's got money, who's just walking down the street, everybody's passing by, nobody thinks about it. Odds are, if you follow this, what I'm talking about, you will have a much more contented, rich life that you deserve. Gentlemen, as always, I hope you found that useful. Hit the like button if you did. John Galt, out.